This week's episode is a part 2 to last week's. Is that okay with you? You sure? You sure you're not upset? Well, too bad. This guy thinks it's pretty okay.
In last week's episode of the show, we talked about 16th century German imperial knight Gotz von Berlichingen, whose life was so crazy that if he was a character in a book or a TV show or a movie or something, you'd find his character pretty implausible. This week we'll be continuing an age-old rivalry between nations by hopping across the North Sea from Germany to England. Yes, it's from England's hearty loins 'twas spawned their own implausible person, Jack Malcolm Thorpe Fleming Churchill. Before we even get to the man, let's look at the name. I mean, look at that sucker. This is the only guy I think I've encountered in modern history who has a name that's both longer and more British than yours truly. I mean, you're not exactly going to see his name on paper and think, Churchill? Well, that's probably a Saudi Arabian prince. Further intimidating yours truly, he also has a much cooler body of nicknames to choose from. Now, to avoid confusion with a certain other famous Churchill, of which there is no relation, I'm going to refer to him as Jack for the rest of this episode. No, I am not going to tell you the story behind that last nickname. Like von Berlichingen, Jack rightly earned himself the ludicrous equipment badge. Now, going into battle with a sword, bow, and arrows would not get you this during Berlichingen's day, but it certainly does if you bring it with you going into battle during World War II. Yep, here he is leading beach training exercises with his claybeg, a type of short sword. Fun fact, if Jack wanted a bigger sword, then he had to get claymore. Jack's quotes are not as impressive as Gotz von Berlichingen's, but Berlichingen's quote, like the real big one, that was given to him by a playwright a few years after his death, so that doesn't really count. I think Jack wins there, but Jack also did not get his arm blown off by a cannon or any other part of him, which is remarkable given his predilection for looking down the barrels of the bloody things. So that means he can't possibly have had a futuristic, well ahead of its time prosthetic limb, which denies him, along with a few other things, the real-life anime character badge. However, his legacy isn't too shabby. His exceptional archery skills earned him minor roles in major motion pictures both before and after World War II. Plus, he had a long life with plenty of kids to carry on his supernaturally Anglo-Saxon name. And, during World War II, he kicked a lot of ass in a lot of really impressive ways, and, he also took up surfing in his old age, and, made his own surfboard. I don't feel very good. I think I'm gonna just lay down for a sec. I don't know if it's oxygen loss from laughing so hard at my awesome Claymore joke or what, but I'm starting to feel that continuing with this review is pretty much the same thing as when I tried to make love to a racist porcupine. Like, maybe there's some problems with my course of action that I should have predicted. If only I had a public forum in which I could review the pros and cons of pretty much anything I wanted.
To be fair to Oliver, I do all my narrations laying on the floor. To keep things interesting, I hook an overflowing plastic bag of horse manure to the ceiling and try to get all the narrations done before the handle tears. It's called the Stable Boys Challenge.
Major motion pictures, both before and after world. Body of nicknames to choose from. Now, for simplicity's sake, if only I had a public forum in which I could review the pros and cons of pretty much anything I wanted. Alright, that'll do.